Hey guys, Jamie here, and welcome back to Flow for Couples. Since this is kind of our central physical practice, we want to just say, hey, if you guys remember, we advanced this thesis. We said this stroking practice is a good foundation and it can do these things for a woman. Now, hopefully you guys have over a week of your own data on that. And we have had some comments in the feed, basically of folks reporting on their experiences with this. What we'd like you guys to do is actually discuss it together. So for the woman or receiving partner, if it's a same-sex couple, the question will just be, how has this thesis proved out or not for you? So ask, what was it like to receive without obligation? And you may still have felt a sense of obligation, so what was it like to kind of keep going through that? What was it like to experience sensations purely for their own sake, without any need to perform or do anything or achieve anything? What was it like to actually allow an erotic current in your nervous system, in your physiology to stay present, to stay there more often than once a week, twice a month, whatever your current, your habitual sexual pattern had been. So what was it like to actually allow for that on a more daily basis? And then particularly for those who got in, say, 5 or more practices since you've begun the course, what has it been like for the woman to experience that and to be like, okay, wow, this may feel a little different. I might not have felt like this in a while. Have you noticed any shifts in baseline arousal, overall vitality and alertness, mood, humor, anything else? And then also the same caution with folks that begin meditation practices that often, or at least sometimes, you can experience a downturn, you can experience a negative impact to start with as your system flushes out. So just report back. How has conducting your own experiment validated, refined, or falsified this thesis for the woman? For the man, here's your questions. What has it been like to be in the position of deep service and attention, and fundamentally this whole sort of almost through the looking glass upside down experience of softer, slower, more attentive, paying deep attention to your partner, not having to perform, not having to penetrate or conquer or achieve anything? And what's that been like? Have you noticed any hiccups? Have you noticed as your woman became aroused, for instance, that you found yourself going harder, faster, right? Even with a digit, even with a finger, right? Have you found yourself basically with that same neurological wiring? So for both of you, just would ask that you guys pause with this screen up and just be able to discuss each of these points. And they're really the only true, or the only best answer is your truest answer. So there's not a right one. It's just reflect on these questions and see what you guys have been learning in addition to just doing the practice. And then the final component was just, hey, this logistically often fits better in people's lives. And have you noticed that? Because I mean, that if nothing else happens, just the idea we can fit in a time-bound 15 minutes more easily and more readily. And if so, what has that done to your experience, to your connection, to your intimacy? Okay. And then for anybody that's looked further into One Taste or Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Body or any of those kind of components, or started Googling or YouTubing online, you've, I would imagine, come across kind of communities, cultures of practice, etc. Those have either been a good match for you or have maybe sent you screaming in the opposite direction. Just depends, and either's fine. But just know, once again, this is a very straightforward practice. It's been around long before any of these organizations have sprung up to support this work. And can you keep a sort of level head about, hey, we're gonna practice the technology or the technique, and the mythologies are basically ours to choose whether or not we play in that neck of the woods.